Welcome back to day 13 of the 21-day Ski Fitness Challenge. Today's routine is all about mobilizing the external rotators of the hip so you can get better angulation in your turns while you're skiing. It's usually not a strength and stability issue, but rather lack of range of motion to really get on edge and feel confident and stable. For this routine, you're going to need some sort of a mat, a foam roller, and either a lacrosse ball or massage ball. But before we start the routine, we're gonna test your range of motion. So just putting your elbow and forearm against the wall, standing a couple feet away, you're gonna keep your feet grounded on the floor, and I want you to push your hip towards the wall. And as you do this, pay attention to where you feel that resistance and limitation. It's probably in this region, which is exactly what we're going to mobilize in this routine. Maybe just do 3 to 5 dips each side facing the other way. Again, I'm keeping the feet grounded. Of course, while we're skiing, we're trying to get on edge, but I'm testing your external hip rotator mobility. Just kind of feel that out, and we'll start off with some foam rolling to open up those structures. So basically, we're just gonna start off sitting on the foam roller, and we're gonna focus on the left side, but keep that massage ball handy. We're gonna use it pretty quickly here. So just nice and easy, rolling out the whole glute. And for this entire routine, really try to focus on those areas we just tested to get deeper into the hips. We can cross this ankle over the other knee and really get way up to that upper glute. That's where I felt the most tightness. Now we could spend 5 minutes each side, but we don't have that kind of time. So what I'm gonna do is transition from the roller to a more trigger pointed approach with the lacrosse ball. And this is where we can really get in deep to those myofascial layers that might have some knots and adhesions. Make sure we're breathing, staying relaxed, really trying to let those tissues open up. Lean into those points of tenderness. Sometimes I'll even come down on my forearm. If the foam rolling is intense enough, you can probably just stick with that. So I'm still very much on glute medius, which we've been working out a lot in the last couple weeks in this challenge, but we're also getting into some deeper muscles like piriformis, which is a stabilizer of the hip. And now from here, we're gonna transition to a less popular muscle called the tensor fascia lata, which is the TFL, which is the origin of your IT band. And when this muscle gets tight, not only can it cause IT band syndrome, but it can actually inhibit that lateral range of motion we're looking for with the hip. So I'm just starting off again with the foam roller, but I have my ball handy because I'm gonna transition here. And we're kind of looking for that region about where the pocket in your shorts or pants might be, somewhere below your iliac crest, but above your hip bone. We're looking for this side region, slightly anterior. In the TFL, this can be really tight, so you might not feel anything at first, but as that muscle starts to open up, you are definitely going to feel it. So now I'm just swapping things out here, getting onto that TFL. Really trying to stay relaxed. This is one where you can really get passive with it and let that ball just sink deeply into the muscles. Focus on breathing, stay relaxed. Again, we're just doing 90 seconds for each muscle, but truly you could spend upwards of 5 minutes on each muscle group, especially if you felt a lot of limited range of motion there. Eventually, we could start playing with some active range of motion, just flexing and extending the knee, a little bit of internal, external rotation. These are all just options, and hopefully return to this routine throughout the season. We're gonna switch sides here, starting with rolling out the glute. Now we're on the right side. I still have my ball handy, my trusty lacrosse ball that has a mind of its own. So again, we're just starting off by rolling out the glutes here. Again, kind of paying attention to that zone where you felt the most tightness. For me, and most likely for you, it's higher up on the glute, just below the lower back. Getting deep into those external rotators, team. Remember to breathe. For this final minute here, I'm gonna switch back to the lacrosse ball. Lacrosse ball is an amazing tool. They're very inexpensive. You can get one in a used gear store for $2 to $3 max. Even new, they're only about $3. I have a lacrosse ball in every room in my house, multiple ones in my car. It's really important to stay mobile, as we've talked so much about in this challenge, in our programs, all over this channel. Really try to breathe and relax, let those hips just melt into that ball. You'll know when you're there. Nice work. Now you could just stay with the lacrosse ball, but sometimes going right into the lacrosse ball in a tight muscle can kind of be counterproductive because that muscle might just tense up in its reflexes to protect itself, which is why foam rolling takes time, at least 30 to 60 seconds to trigger your nervous system to relax those muscle groups and make sure it's not a threatening input. They're just trying to protect you. So I like warming up the muscle with the roller a little bit, telling it, okay, it's time to relax. We're gonna get into some work, and then we can transition to the lacrosse ball. Getting right on that TFL. It's not totally on the side, it's slightly anterior. And again, we can work a little bit of active range of motion here. Doesn't take much. Just flex the knee, extend the knee. You could do a little bit of hip external rotation, internal rotation. Just trying to move things around deep in the hip. Nice work. Okay, so you can think about that as our warm-up. We just gave a lot of input to these various muscle groups, telling it it's okay, you can relax a little bit. And now we're gonna get into some more active and static stretching. We're starting off with the 90-90 hip rotation. So we're working on internal rotation of the hip, which is gonna stretch out those external rotators of the hip. So just nice and easy. I got two 90-degree angles going on here, and I'm really trying to push that knee into the floor. But notice my upper body isn't really moving much. Really trying to stay locked, letting that rotation happen through the hips. If your knee isn't going to the floor and you're up here like this, that's okay. The goal is not to mimic exactly what I'm doing or go as deep as I'm going. The goal is that you feel the stretch in the general region that we're aiming for, at an intensity that's appropriate for you. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna get into a little bit more of a sequence here, into a seated pigeon stretch, similar to how we were just rolling on our glutes. So I'm gonna cross my left ankle just above my right knee, and I'm gonna bring that foot in as far as I can manage while keeping good posture and still being able to breathe and feeling the stretch on that external rotator, in this case on the left side. And we're not gonna get super passive today. We're gonna keep a little bit of activity going on, which is really valuable for enhancing our range of motion. Static stretching is great too, but sometimes, especially in a shorter routine like this, getting a little more active with it, we can get more out of our time. So I'm just rocking my hips a little bit side to side. Feeling that hip open up. And again, it's okay if this leg is like this, or if your knee is up really close to your chest. These are all normal things, but we want to start correcting those movement patterns just a little bit. Now from here, we're gonna lay all the way down onto our back. This foot's gonna stay here, and you could stay here. We're kind of still in that same glute med region, But to get into that TFL, we're gonna let everything flop over to the right. And now I'm looking for a really deep stretch through that TFL. You might even feel this lateral quad IT band, maybe even into the obliques. And I'm just moving the roller so I have a little bit more space to put this arm out. So again, I'm getting some rotation through the spine, really deep stretch through this whole lateral side body. And at the same time, I'm holding onto my ankle and I'm working on pushing that knee away. Really wonderful stretch, very restorative. Give that TFL a break. Nice work. And then we're gonna repeat that same short sequence on the other side after we visit an active pigeon stretch. Now we're gonna stay on that same side, excuse me. So on the left leg now, I'm in this pigeon pose. This can be really inaccessible for some. So that's where having a foam roller or another prop and putting that under your hip can be really valuable too. It's okay if that knee isn't touching the ground. But our goal here, again, to stay active, we're just gonna try to dip forward, come back up. Notice my back leg is straight behind me. It's not flaring out this way. That'll decrease the stretch, although you might not need to get full extension here to really feel that stretch. So just nice and easy, working on some up and down motion. Notice that motion is really coming from hinging at the hip, and I'm not just rounding my upper back. In fact, if you round through the spine, you probably won't feel that stretch as deeply. Nice work. Okay, now we're gonna repeat that sequence of 3 stretches on the other side. So starting off with that seated pigeon stretch. So again, crossing that ankle over the knee, wherever feels appropriate. You might be in super tight for this one. You might not. You could either use the other hand to kind of push that knee away, get a little deeper. Just make sure you can breathe. This is a really good routine to do after a big day of skiing or the night before a big day of skiing when you're gonna be getting on edge all day. But this is just one component of the whole, is mobilizing these tissues that are likely overactive. And at the same time, we need to keep strengthening the glutes and hamstrings, the quads, to keep you balanced, which is why all those strength routines have been so valuable in this challenge. Nice work. And then we're just gonna roll back. And again, you can stay here in a reclined pigeon, or ideally rolling everything over to one side, reaching this other arm out. And then we're looking for that big stretch through that region of the TFL, even into the oblique. Reaching that arm out and then pushing that knee away from me just ever so slightly. Just a few more deep breaths here. Staying relaxed through the face. Try to let go a little bit more. Nice, and then we'll come up slowly and we're transitioning to our active pigeon stretch. Modify as you need, pillows, cushions, big puffy jacket, whatever you got. And I like getting into this lunge position, walking my foot across the mat and then dropping this knee down towards the floor, trying to keep that chest up. This side does feel a little tighter for me, which stands true to our assessment in the beginning. I'm just hinging forward, coming back up. Again, I'm trying not to round through the spine. I could round and go all the way to the floor, but that's not the goal here. Even just a little bit of motion. You might not need any motion, but we are trying to find a little bit of activity in this position. A few more breaths here in our final stretch, and then we're gonna retest and see if that made any difference. My guess is you are going to notice a difference immediately. Nice work. So we'll come out of that slowly, standing back up. Feel free to shake out the legs a little bit, maybe bring it around town a couple times, and let's retest. So finding that same position, elbow and forearm against the wall, feet are staying grounded, and pushing those hips over. And just notice, I personally feel quite a bit more freedom in there, less resistance, and I can really edge and angle. So when I'm skiing, I can get into that C shape and counter rotate, push those hips over. We can test on the other side too. And if you don't notice a big difference, that's okay, especially if you've done little or no fascial work previously. This can be stuff that takes time for your body to adjust. This side's feeling way more open. Okay, nice job. There you have it. Hopefully you felt the difference. And again, if not, that's okay. And even if you did feel a difference, it's likely going to be short-term relief. But when we start applying these principles on a regular basis, we can turn that short-term relief to long-term relief over time, which is going to keep you healthy and mobile season after season. We really hope you have been enjoying our 21-day ski fitness challenge. As usual, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, book a consultation. There's a link in the description below. And if you're eager to continue moving the needle when it comes to your mobility and flexibility, check out our powder prep program. We have practices just like this sprinkled throughout the entire program to complement all of the strength and stability training. Great job showing up. Emily's gonna be back tomorrow for another relaxing static stretch before we kick off week 3 with another challenging leg workout. Way to show up. See you tomorrow.